When it comes to Code, honestly, I thought he was going to be a much better villain than he currently is. In fact, I think he's the worst villain in shonen history. And please allow me to explain to you guys, because you're not going to want to miss this, because this video will change your life. Now, we know that Code is the main villain in Two Blue Vortex, but what you guys don't know, he's kind of being overlooked right now by the four Shinju enemies, which I guess they're set to be the main enemies, which it was supposed to be Code, because he's literally been hyped up since part 1. Since he got his limiters removed, he was supposed to be the strongest, and now he's said to be Boruto's equal. Except that's not quite what we got into Blue Vortex. In fact, we got quite the opposite. Code is nowhere near Boruto's level, as we found out. Especially with all Boruto's new abilities. Come on, we haven't even seen everything yet. We've only seen really Uzohiko and Flying Raijin. Two very, very strong moves. But before I continue, guys, definitely like and subscribe. Very, very close to 1,000 subscribers. I'm very happy about that. Back to the video. I've honestly never gotten that villain feeling from Code, because time and time again, like, we've had like these Shinjus tell him, hey, you're just a pawn basically, we're using you. The same way Jigen said that, and honestly, I just don't get that shonen villain type of energy from him. I more get just like a minion feeling from him. Honestly, that's honestly where you should be. I don't think he should be a villain at all, honestly, because he was not very good at it, as you guys can see. He strikes me more of a broken hero, like Kawaki, for example. So yeah, I basically call him like a minion before the big boss, which now was revealed, the Shinju. But honestly, looking at other shonen villains like Aizen or Frieza, for example, they're much, much darker than this guy. Because Code, he's evil just for the sake of being evil. He's not really like downright evil, if you know what I mean. Like, if we look at Aizen, for example, he's been doing crap since the beginning. Matter of fact, since before the beginning, before Ichigo was born, Aizen was already plotting. And in this case, Code has just started plotting now against the Hidden Leaf, and now he's created these insanely strong Shinjus. But power-wise, honestly, Code, he's probably gonna get a power amp, honestly, in the near future. Maybe the next few chapters, we might see him get something else. Maybe he fuses with one of the Shinju, or something like that, honestly, to give him the edge on our main character, Boruto, and possibly Kawaki if he decides to go for the village right now. Or I guess focus on healing right now and then go for the village, because he doesn't know what the Shinju are going to do. Remember, these are two completely different entities. Code does not control the Shinju anymore. They have an ego of their own, which means they think for themselves. And with that being said, we know that the Shinju might go either attack the village just out of their own free will, or I guess they might keep training perhaps, or gaining knowledge. Those are the three main possibilities here. We know they want knowledge. They want to get smarter. They don't want to just become basically chakra fruits and just die, because that's very boring to them, most likely. And I'd say that way too. Like, why be alive if you're just gonna get turned into a freaking chakra fruit like Kinshiki did back in the Boruto movie? And honestly, now that Code has no restraints on them, and they're not just some simple pawns anymore they can order around. In fact, his own pawns have now made him their pawn. Like, what? Like, what kind of villain has this happened to? I'm gonna be real honest here. Upon seeing him in the very first chapter, I thought he was gonna be way overpowered by now, but it looks like he hasn't been doing any training in the time skip era. But Boruto, on the other hand, he did all the training. Trust me. In fact, he had 2 senseis, but then of course he lost Sasuke. But luckily he had Kashin Koji to aid him in his growth and becoming an adult by now. But he's likely a late teen, I'd say, so maybe 16, 17-ish. But on the good side, Code did come back with quite a bit of abilities. We have his claw marks, which those he can transport himself anywhere around, basically anywhere. And he can also transport his claw grind, and that's a very important factor when it comes to, I guess, raiding a village. That's the only way that it would work, is just if you're doing like a large scale raid, say okay on Konoha, then yeah, that would work. But in other circumstances, I mean, unless you just want to build an army like, I guess, the White Zetsu that Kaguya built. But besides that, Code is pretty strong himself, and I'd say he's pretty fast, even though he got basically cucked by Boruto. But let's not talk about that right now. But like I mentioned earlier, the only way I see that Code can actually become up to par with our main character is honestly by fusing it with one of the Shinju, or maybe some other power amp that Kishimoto would do, like just to keep everything balanced, you know. Like, we can't have Boruto too overpowered and then his enemies are way too weak, because then what's the point of the story? There's just not going to be any growth if he's already stronger than everybody. You see, it doesn't really make sense there in a narrative perspective. But those are my thoughts on Code, so let me know what you think down below, and make sure to like and subscribe, check out my other videos, and see you guys next time.